I'd like to show a demolition or wrecking ball example here. So as you can see here, we have a lot of bricks, and these bricks can be modeled, for example, as collision bodies. To do so, we would not want to model each individual brick, but we can switch over to Assembly Navigator, going to the sub-assembly level of one brick, and then we can model this brick as a rigid body. And we can also apply a collision body to this brick. Now switching over to the physics navigator, you will see that you have the rigid body here and the collision body also applied to this rigid body. When I activate the physics engine now, you will see the brick is falling down. Going up to top assembly level, you will see that we get all the bricks now applied on top assembly level. And when I switch on the physics engine, you will see that the wall is falling down. As we did not model the floor yet, so therefore I can now apply collision body as the floor. I can switch over, for example, to mesh and model also the walls as a mesh. And now when I switch on the physics engine, you will see that we get a collision in between the floor and the bricks. These will now enable me, for example, to drag with the mouse and pull out some bricks. But you also can see that this collision is drawing a lot of performance. So therefore, another modeling approach is just to switch over to a constraint-based or joint-based modeling approach. That means we can enter again the bricks, and then we can just apply a fixed joint to such a brick. So we only have the attachment now applied to this brick, and the base is left open. That means this brick will be held in 3D space by this fixed joint. So that this wall will be able to break, we also need a so-called breaking constraint. So this breaking constraint will break the fixed joint if a specific force is being applied to this brick. When I start the simulation now, you can see that this brick is still held in place, but with the mouse I can basically apply a higher force than this 10 newtons to the brick, and then it will move, fall down, whatever. When I go up on top assembly level, we can see that we get the bricks as a model, we get all the breaking constraints, and also the fixed joints being applied to this top assembly model. When I start the simulation now, you can see simulation is running, but we do not get any collision highlighting as these bricks are being held in place by the joints and will not collide anymore. Therefore, the performance is better than before. And we can just pull apart the bricks. When I do so, the fixed joint will be basically broken and the collision will kick in. So now we can just model the ball as a wrecking ball. So we'll just select the ball and I will also apply a collision body to this as a fear. And now you see we have the ball here, and it also carries a collision body. And when I play the simulation now, you can see that I can grab the ball and mesh against the wall. And this will then damage the wall, and the physics engine will just calculate if the impact of the ball will cause a force which is higher than the 10 newtons which we have set to each individual fixed joint, and therefore these fixed joint will break and release the rigid body to collide with each other if the fixed joint is going to be released.